Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Keith Coons. Governor Malloy has started the process of laying off thousands of state employees. The word came in through an email from the governor's office this morning. This after a late-night bargaining session with the union's leadership resulted in no agreement on the $1 billion a year in concessions and savings the governor has asked for. Chief Political Correspondent Mark Davis standing by live at the state capitol with the latest this noon. And Mark, at this point, have the talks broken down, or are they going to be continuing?
Well, Keith, they're talking about getting together to talk again. Good afternoon, Keith. Good afternoon, everyone from the State Capitol Complex in Hartford. These nearly 5,000 layoff notices that are going out today represent more than 10% of the state's nearly 45,000 member state labor force, state workforce. Now, the governor declined to answer questions this morning, rushing by our camera on a coffee run here at the Capitol Complex, although he did pause to greet some school kids who are here for a tour today. They're here all the time, school kids from all across the state. But what we do know is the administration can't really wait any longer because some union contracts require 8 weeks' notice, which was last Friday. Some require 6 weeks' notice, which is next Friday, in order to get those workers off the state payroll by July 1st, the start of the new budget year. In that statement released this morning, the governor says, quote, "I have directed OPM," that's the Office of Policy and Management, his budget office, "to begin issuing layoff notices in an orderly fashion to the first 4,742 state employees. Those layoffs will result in savings of approximately $455 million. I've also directed OPM to begin the process necessary to cut an additional $545 million in spending spread across state government, and will, in all likelihood, result in additional layoffs." He goes on to say, "I want to be clear that this is not the road I wanted to go down, but I have no choice." Now, it's our information that the union leadership is meeting somewhere here around the state capitol now and is discussing the process for getting back together, and they want to keep talking. That's what they are telling us in a statement. They are upset about the layoffs. They are sad that the governor has decided to begin issuing the layoffs. But we have said time and time again that laying off workers, whether in public or private sector, slashing vital services will provide disastrous to our shared goal of creating jobs and rebuilding the middle class. However, they still want to continue talking today. We had anticipated a representative of the state labor unions to be here for this noon broadcast right now, but just a short time ago they said they had to cancel. They will be coming up here shortly to give us an update. Live from the state capitol, Mark Davis, News 8.
All right, Mark, thank you. Word of those pink slips going out to state employees has people around Connecticut talking this day. News 8's Crystal Haynes continuing our team coverage. She is on the scene in New Haven with reaction.
When News 8 heard about the layoffs, we hit the street to find out what the residents of Connecticut had to say. Governor Malloy just announced he's going to lay off some 5,000 state employees. I mean, what does that make you think?
Well, they're laying off everywhere, you know what I mean? So, just like when they laid off the police, they laid off a couple of them, but they can't keep doing that kind of stuff.
What do you think about that?
It's tough because times are so tough. I think he's kind of catch-22 because he's trying to balance it, but at the same time, people can't afford to be out of work right now. It's tough.
The governor just announced he's going to lay off some 5,000 state workers. I mean, what does that make you think as a resident of Connecticut?
I think it's sad right now. The way the economy is going right now, we need jobs, you know.
Governor Malloy says come July, there's going to be a balanced budget here in Connecticut, but the folks we talked to say maybe the price was just a little bit too high. We're on the scene here in New Haven. I'm Crystal Haynes, News 8.
And in our News 8 online poll question today, we want to know how you feel about the way Governor Malloy is handling the state budget. Let us know if you believe yes or no, approve, disapprove, by logging onto our website at WTNH.com. We'll have the early results coming up on News 8 at 5 o'clock. And, of course, stay with News 8 and WTNH.com for the very latest developments on the state budget.